The rosary bead snapped. Amara Okonkwo's fingers crushed the wooden prayer beads as the last assassin's body hit the marble floor of the Busan penthouse. Blood pooled around her boots. 18 men. 18 of Asia's deadliest killers lay unconscious or groaning in pain around her. The pre-dawn light filtered through shattered windows, casting long shadows across the carnage. She wiped blood from her knuckles and checked her watch. 5:47 a.m. The whole thing had taken 4 hours. God, forgive me, she whispered. Her shoulder throbbed where a blade had caught her. Her ribs ached. But she was alive. More importantly, the man locked in the panic room 3 floors below was alive. That's all that mattered. But before we get to how a 36-year-old woman from Enugu, Nigeria ended up as the only thing standing between Korea's most powerful crime boss and certain death, let me take you back 3 weeks. Because this story? It starts with desperation. Have you ever been so desperate that you'd trust a complete stranger with your life? Drop a comment below and let me know. And if you're loving this story already, smash that like button and subscribe because what happens next will blow your mind. 3 weeks earlier, Busan's Haeundae district buzzed with its usual chaos. Neon lights reflected off rain-soaked streets. Luxury cars navigated between food vendors and businessmen stumbling out of noribangs. But in a private room at the top of the Crimson Tower, the most powerful man in South Korea's underworld was having the worst week of his life. Kwon Tae-young sat behind his desk, staring at crime scene photos. 6 bodies. 6 of his best men, the elite warring unit, found dead in a shipping container at the port. Each one had been a martial arts expert. Each one trained to kill. Each one murdered with surgical precision. We have a problem, said Ha Ji-woo, his advisor of 15 years. She was 45, sharp as a knife, and the only person Tae-young trusted completely. She slid another folder across the desk. The Golden Lotus Collective. All 5 rival syndicates have formed an alliance. They're coming for you. Tae-young was 48 years old. He'd built the Crimson Tiger Syndicate from nothing after his father was murdered by corporate criminals when Tae-young was 19. He controlled shipping, real estate, entertainment. On paper, he was a legitimate businessman. In reality, he was the Shadow King of Busan. But shadows can be swallowed by darker shadows. How long do I have? He asked. Days. Maybe less. Ji-woo pulled out her phone, showed him surveillance footage. They tried to kidnap Suya yesterday. Tae-young's blood ran cold. Suya, his 17-year-old daughter. The only pure thing in his corrupted world. He watched the footage of men in black attempting to grab her outside her school. Campus security had intervened just in time. Where is she now? Safe house in Gwangali. For guards. Not enough. Tae-young stood, walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Busan's glittering skyline. If they got to the warring unit, they'll get to anyone we have. That's why I have a suggestion. Ji-woo opened her laptop, pulled up a file. Her name is Amara Okonkwo. Nigerian American. Former CIA's Special Activities Division. She runs a private security firm in New York. Her record is perfect. In 5 years of operation, she hasn't lost a single client. A foreigner? A woman. Park Min-soo, Tae-young's chief enforcer, spat from his position by the door. He was 38, built like a tank, and had been with Tae-young since the beginning. Boss, this is insulting. We have men. Dead men. Ji-woo cut him off. All our men are either dead or compromised. We need someone from outside our world. Someone the Golden Lotus doesn't know. Someone they can't predict. Tae-young studied the file. Amara's photo showed a woman with intelligent eyes and an athletic build. Her resume was impressive. Delta Force before CIA, fluent in 6 languages. Expert in 17 different combat systems. Hostage rescue specialist. What's her success rate? He asked. 100%. She's never lost a client. Everyone has a price. What's hers? $8 million. 1 month of protection. Min-soo laughed. That's insane. We could hire 20 men for that. 20 dead men, Ji-woo said coldly. I've done my research. She's called the saint in certain circles. Want to know why? Because she only takes jobs where she believes she can make a difference. The money she earns? She builds schools in Nigeria. She's not just good at her job. She's incorruptible. Tae-young was quiet for a long moment. Outside, Busan lived and breathed, unaware that its underworld was about to explode into war. He thought of Suya. Of her smile. Of the way she still hugged him goodnight despite knowing what he was. Contact her, he said. Offer her 10 million. Tell her I need a miracle. Halfway across the world, in a small church in Brooklyn, New York, Amara Okonkwo was praying when her phone vibrated. Sunday service had just ended. Her father, Pastor Emmanuel Okonkwo, was shaking hands with parishioners by the door. The late morning sun streamed through stained glass windows, painting rainbow patterns across wooden pews. Amara looked at the encrypted message. Unknown number. She almost deleted it. Then she saw the amount. $10 million. She stepped outside into the cold February air and called her business partner. Marcus Williams answered on the first ring. Tell me you're not considering it. Marcus was 40, ex-Delta Force, and had saved Amara's life twice during their CIA days. When she'd started her security firm 3 years ago, he'd been her first call. They'd been through hell together. He knew her better than anyone. 10 million, Marcus. That's 3 schools. Maybe 4. That's blood money, Amara. Look at the file they sent. Korean mob boss. The man's got more enemies than a politician. This isn't protecting some executive from corporate espionage. This is war. Amara leaned against the church's brick wall, watching her father through the window. Pastor Emmanuel had fled Nigeria during the Biafran War as a child. He'd built this church with his bare hands, served this community for 30 years. He'd raised Amara alone after her mother died, taught her that faith without action was dead. You remember what you told me when I left the CIA? She asked Marcus. That you were making a mistake. After that, you said if I was going to do this, do it for the right reasons. Every dollar I make goes home. Last month, we opened that school in Enugu. 200 kids who wouldn't have had a chance. How many more could we save with 10 million? Marcus was quiet. Then, when do we leave? We don't. I work alone on this one. If it goes bad, I'm not taking you down with me. Amara. I'll call you every day. If I miss a check-in, you know what to do. She hung up before he could argue. The encrypted message had included a video call link. Amara clicked it. A woman's face appeared on screen. Sharp features, calculating eyes. Ha Jiwoo. Miss Okonkwo. Thank you for responding. I haven't accepted yet. Tell me why a man like Kwon Tae-yong needs someone like me. Jiwoo didn't waste time. She laid out everything. The Golden Lotus Collective. The murdered bodyguards. The attempt on Suya. The ticking clock. He needs someone they don't know. Someone they can't buy. Someone who's never failed. Everyone fails eventually, Amara said. Not you. I've read your file. Caracas, 2 years ago. 6 hostels, 1 client, 0 backup. You walked out with the client alive. Beirut, 18 months ago. Ambush on the highway. You drove through a kill zone and didn't lose anyone. You're not lucky, Miss Okonkwo. You're exceptional. I'm expensive. We're offering 10 million. 1 month. Keep Kwon Tae-yong alive until we can neutralize the threat. Why should I protect a criminal? Jiwoo's expression didn't change. Because he has a 17-year-old daughter who still believes her father is a good man. Because despite what he is, he's kept this city from tearing itself apart. The Golden Lotus Collective? They don't want order. They want chaos. If Taeyong falls, Busan burns. Innocent people die. You're not protecting a criminal, Miss Okonkwo. You're preventing a massacre. Amara thought of her father. Of the schools. Of the 200 kids in Enugu who now had a future. I accept. But I have conditions. I work my way. Full access to everything. No secrets. If I say move, you move. If I say someone's compromised, they're out. No arguments. And I want half up front. Agreed. There's a private jet waiting for you at Teterboro. Can you be ready in 4 hours? Amara checked her watch. It was just past noon. 3 hours. She went back inside the church. Her father was putting away hymnals. He looked up, saw her face, and knew. You're leaving. I have a job, Papa. Pastor Emmanuel nodded slowly. He was 72 now, his hair completely gray, but his eyes were still sharp. Dangerous. They all are. He pulled her into a hug. Your mother, God rest her soul, she was the bravest woman I knew. You have her fire. But fire can burn or it can light the way. Remember which one you are. I will, Papa. And Amara? Come home. Every time, you come home. Every time, she promised. 3 hours later, she was wheels up to Seoul. The private jet was obscenely luxurious. Leather seats, full bar, bedroom in the back. Amara ignored all of it. She spread out files on the table and studied. Kwon Tae-yong. Born in Busan. Father murdered when he was 19. Built an empire in 29 years. On paper, legitimate. In reality, he controlled the flow of goods, money, and power through South Korea's second-largest city. But the file showed something else too. Charitable donations through shell companies. Neighborhoods protected from worse criminals. A code of conduct his people followed. He wasn't just a gangster. He was complicated. The Golden Lotus Collective was less complicated. 5 syndicates, each vicious, each hungry. The Kim family from Seoul. The Nakamura-gumi, Japanese Yakuza with operations in Busan. The Taiwanese Red Bamboo Gang. The Vietnamese Born to Kill crew. And the local Busan gang, the Iron Dragons, who'd been at war with Taeyong for a decade. Together, they were unstoppable. Separately, Taeyong had kept them in check. United, they'd crush him. The question was, why now? What had changed? Amara made notes. Studied faces. Memorized names. When the flight attendant offered her food, she accepted. She'd learned long ago to eat when she could. Sleep when she could. In her line of work, you never knew when the next chance would come. 14 hours later, the plane touched down at Gimhae International Airport. A black SUV was waiting on the tarmac. No customs. No questions. Just a driver who bowed slightly and opened the door. They drove through Busan at midnight. The city was alive. Neon lights everywhere. People eating at street food stalls. Couples walking along the beach. It looked peaceful. Beautiful even. But Amara saw what others didn't. The men watching from corners. The cars that followed too closely. The tension underneath the surface. This city was about to explode. The SUV pulled up to the Crimson Tower. 40 stories of glass and steel in the heart of Houndie. The driver led her to a private elevator that went straight to the top floor. No stops. No buttons. Just up. The doors opened to a penthouse office. Floor-to-ceiling windows showed Busan sprawling below. And standing by those windows was Kwon Tae-young. He turned to face her. He was tall for a Korean man, maybe 6 feet. Well-dressed in a dark suit. His face was harder than his photo suggested. This was a man who'd seen violence. Who'd dealt it out. Miss Okonkwo. Thank you for coming. His English was perfect, barely accented. Amara walked in, scanned the room in 2 seconds. 3 exits, including the elevator. Ha-ji-woo standing by the desk. Park Min-soo by the door, hand near his weapon. Mr. Kwon. Before we begin, I need to establish something. I don't work for criminals. I work for people who need protection. The moment you become the threat, I'm gone. Understood. Min-soo bristled, stepped forward. You dare. Taeyong raised a hand. Min-soo stopped. Understood, Taeyong said. I appreciate your honesty. It's refreshing. Good. Now show me everything. Security footage. Personnel files. Financial records. Communication logs. Everything. That will take days too. Then we start now. Because somewhere in your organization, Mr. Kwon is a traitor. Someone told the Golden Lotus exactly where your warring unit would be. Someone gave them access. Until I find that person, you're not safe. Your daughter's not safe. Nobody is. The room went silent. Ji-woo and Min-soo exchanged glances. Taeyong stared at Amara for a long moment. Then he smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the smile of a man who'd just realized he might actually survive. Ji-woo, give her everything. Miss Okonkwo, you have full access. Whatever you need. Amara spent the next 48 hours living in that penthouse office. She barely slept. Coffee and determination kept her going. Ji-woo had delivered everything as promised, and what Amara found made her blood run cold. The Crimson Tiger Syndicate wasn't just big. It was massive. Legitimate businesses mixed with underground operations. Hundreds of employees. Thousands of connections. And somewhere in this web of money and power, someone was selling Taeyong out. She started with the warring unit murders. 6 men, all found in a shipping container at Pier 17. But the container hadn't been logged. It wasn't supposed to be there. Someone had arranged for it to be placed there specifically. Someone with access to port schedules. Amara cross-referenced personnel. 43 people had access to those schedules. She narrowed it down by checking who was on duty that night. 12 people. She ran background checks on all 12. Financial records. Phone logs. Travel history. 3 names stood out. Choi Hyun-woo, 28, tech specialist. Smart kid from Seoul National University. But his bank account showed deposits that didn't match his salary. Small amounts. Easy to miss. But consistent. Lee Sung-min, 35, logistics coordinator. Divorced. 2 kids. Gambling debts up to his eyeballs. Desperate men did desperate things. And Park Min-soo, Taeyong's right hand. The one man who'd been with him from the beginning. The one man who'd know everything. Amara sat back, rubbed her eyes. It was 3 in the morning. Through the window, Busan glittered like a dragon's hoard. Somewhere out there, the Golden Lotus was planning their next move. You should sleep. She turned. Taeyong stood in the doorway, holding 2 cups of tea. He'd changed from his suit to casual clothes. Looked more human. More tired. Sleep is for people who aren't being hunted, Amara said. He smiled slightly, walked over, set a cup in front of her. Green tea. It'll help you focus better than coffee. Is that Korean wisdom? That's parent wisdom. I used to make it for Sia during exam season. He sat down across from her. What have you found? 3 suspects. Maybe more. Your organization has more holes than a fishing net. I know. I build it that way. Too tight and people feel trapped. They rebel. Too loose and this happens. You're very philosophical for a crime boss. And you're very judgmental for someone taking my money. Amara met his eyes. I'm taking your money to build schools. What's your excuse for how you made it? Taeyong didn't flinch. My father was a dock worker. Honest man. Worked 18-hour days for 40 years. The company he worked for cut corners on safety. A container fell. Crushed him and 3 other men. The company paid the families nothing. Said it was their fault for not being careful. He sipped his tea. I was 19. I watched my mother die from grief 6 months later. I had nothing. No education. No connections. No future. So I made my own. Yes, I've done terrible things, Miss Okonkwo. But I've also kept worse people from doing worse things. In this city, I'm the devil people know. And sometimes, the devil you know is better than the chaos you don't. That's a convenient rationalization. It's the truth. But I'm not asking you to understand. I'm asking you to keep my daughter alive. Because whatever I am, whatever I've done, she's innocent. She wants to be a doctor. Help people. She's everything I'm not. Amara heard the pain in his voice. The regret. She'd learned to read people during her CIA years. Learned when someone was lying, when they were genuine. Taeyong wasn't lying. I'll keep her alive, Amara said. But I need to meet her. Assess her security. And I need to move her somewhere safer than Gwangali. Where? Here. This building. Top floor. I can control the variables better. She's in school. She has friends. A life. Not if she's dead. Mr. Kwan, you hired me to keep you alive. That means making hard choices. Your daughter stays here under my protection until this is over. Non-negotiable. Taeyong's joy tightened. For a moment, Amara thought he might refuse. Then he nodded. I'll call her in the morning. Call her now. The Golden Lotus doesn't care about school schedules. He pulled out his phone, dialed. Suya? It's Papa. I know it's late. Listen, I need you to come to the tower. Yes, now. I'm sending Minsu to get you. No, everything's fine. I just miss you. Please, Jagia. For me. He hung up, looked at Amara. She'll be here in an hour. Good. Now tell me about Hajiwoo. What about her? She's been with you 15 years. She knows everything. She's smart enough to plan this. Why should I trust her? Because she saved my life twice. Because she had 100 opportunities to betray me and never did. Because she's family. Family betrays family all the time, Mr. Kwan. It's usually the ones closest to us who hurt us worst. Taeyong stood up, anger flashing in his eyes. Jiwoo is not your suspect. Focus on the others. Everyone's a suspect until they're not. That's how I keep my clients alive. They stared at each other. The tension crackled. Then Taeyong's phone rang. He answered, listened, his face going pale. When? Where? Is anyone hurt? He hung up. There's been an attack. The safe house in Gwangali. For guards, all dead. They were looking for Suya. Good thing I had you call her, Amara said. That's not a coincidence. Someone knew she was there. Someone in this building told them. That's impossible. Only 5 people knew that location. Then one of those 5 is your traitor. Who knew? Myself. Jiwoo. Minsu. My driver, Kong. And my accountant, Mr. Lim. Amara was already pulling up files. Your driver just saved us time. Get Minsu back here. Now. And lock down this building. Nobody in or out without my clearance. Taeyong made calls. Amara worked. Kong, the driver. 55 years old. 20 years with the organization. Clean record. Too clean. She dug deeper. Found a sister in Seoul. Medical bills. Cancer treatment. Expensive. Very expensive. And there it was. 3 payments from an offshore account. Each one corresponding to major security breaches. The Warring unit. 2 other incidents. And tonight. I found him, Amara said. Your driver. Someone's paying for his sister's treatment in exchange for information. Taeyong's face went dark. Kong? He's been with me for 20 years. which is why they targeted him. They knew you'd trust him. Where is he now? He took Minsu to get Suya. Amara's blood went cold. Call Minsu. Now. Taeyong dialed. It rang. And rang. No answer. We need to go, Amara said, standing. We need to go right now. They rushed to the elevator. Jiwoo appeared from her office. What's happening? Kang's compromised. He's with Minsu and Suya. Jiwoo's face went white. I'm coming with you. They took the elevator down. Amara's mind raced. If Kang was the leak, he'd known they were onto him. He'd known Suya was being moved. Which meant this wasn't just extraction. This was an ambush. The elevator opened to the garage. Amara stepped out first, scanning. 3 SUVs. Empty garage. Too quiet. Something's wrong, she said. Then headlights blazed from the shadows. An engine roared. A black van came screaming toward them. Amara shoved Taeyong and Jiwoo back into the elevator, hit the button. The doors started closing. The van screeched to a stop. Doors flew open. 6 men in black, weapons drawn. The elevator doors closed. Bullets sparked off the steel. They're in the building, Taeyong said. They're in my building. Where's your panic room? Amara asked. 35th floor. Executive suite. That's where we're going. Jiwoo, call every security asset you have. Get them here. Now. The elevator climbed. Amara's mind worked. 6 men in the garage. How many more in the building? This wasn't a small operation. This was a full assault. The doors opened on the 35th floor. Empty hallway. Too empty. Amara pulled Taeyong back. Wait. She picked up a pen from the elevator, tossed it into the hallway. Gunfire erupted from both ends. The pen exploded into fragments. They're boxing us in, Amara said. She hit the button for the 40th floor. Change of plans. We're going up. There's nothing up there but my office. Exactly. Defensible position. Limited access. We hold there until help arrives. The elevator climbed. Amara pulled out her phone, called Marcus. I'm blown, she said when he answered. Multiple hostiles. Client's daughter is missing. I need you to track a phone. She rattled off Minsu's number. Find her, Marcus. Find her now. On it. Amara, how bad is this? Bad enough that I might not make tomorrow's check-in. If that happens, it won't. You're the saint, remember? You don't fail. The elevator doors opened. They ran to Taeyong's office. Amara locked the door, pushed furniture against it. She checked the windows. 40 stories up. No way down except the elevator. They were trapped. Taeyong's phone rang. He answered, put it on speaker. Mr. Kwon. The voice was cold, mechanical. We have your daughter. We have your enforcer. You have 1 hour to come down alone. If you don't, we start sending pieces of her back to you. The line went dead. Taeyong's hand shook. His face had gone ghost white. Suya. Don't, Amara said. Don't fall apart. Not now. They want you emotional. They want you making mistakes. They have my daughter. And if you go down there, they'll have you both. Then they'll kill you both anyway. This is a trap, Mr. Kwon. They're counting on you being a father first and a survivor second. What would you have me do? Let them hurt her. Amara's phone buzzed. Marcus. She answered. Got a location. Minsu's phone is at the Pearl Pavilion. Dongbeek Island. That luxury resort that's been closed for renovations. How many exits? 1 bridge connecting to the mainland. It's a kill box, Amara. They chose it for a reason. Send me everything. Blueprints. Satellite imagery. Everything. She hung up, turned to Taeyong. Your daughter's at the Pearl Pavilion. That mean anything to you? His eyes widened. That's my property. I own that resort. We're renovating it. Only a handful of people knew about it. Let me guess. Jiwoo knew. Jiwoo's face went hard. You think I did this? After everything. I think someone with intimate knowledge of Taeyong's properties set this up. Someone who knew exactly where to strike. Someone who's been 10 steps ahead this entire time. It wasn't me. Then who? Amara stepped closer. Who else knew about the Pearl Pavilion? Who else had access to Kang? Who else could coordinate an attack this sophisticated? I don't know. But it wasn't me. Taeyong held up his hand. Enough. Jiwoo has been loyal for 15 years. If she wanted me dead, I'd already be dead. Maybe she wants something else, Amara said. Maybe she wants the Empire without you in it. The room fell silent. Then Jiwoo laughed. It was a bitter sound. You think I want this? She gestured at the window at Busan below. This life? This constant war? I've watched this organization consume everything. Relationships. Families. Souls. I stayed because Taeyong needed me. Because someone had to keep him from becoming a monster. But I never wanted this for myself. Then help me save his daughter. How? There are at least 20 men at that resort. Maybe more. We're 3 people. The police won't help. Our own security is compromised. What can we possibly do? Amara smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. We do what they don't expect. We don't bring an army. We bring one person who's worth an army. Me. Taeyong shook his head. You can't go in there alone. That's suicide. I've done worse odds. Caracas, 6-1. Beirut, ambush in a kill zone. I'm still here. They're not. This is different. They're expecting rescue. They'll be ready. Good. Let them be ready for a rescue team. SWAT tactics. Breach and clear. Overwhelming force. Amara pulled up the blueprints on her phone. They won't be ready for a ghost. Someone who slips in quiet. Someone who turns their own trap against them. You're insane, Jiwoo said. No. I'm very good at my job. Amara studied the blueprints. The Pearl Pavilion was built over the water. Traditional Korean architecture mixed with modern luxury. Multiple buildings connected by covered walkways. Gardens. A main hall. Private rooms. And underneath, service tunnels for staff. There, she said, pointing. Service entrance. Connects to the kitchen. From there, I can access the entire compound without being seen. They'll have men watching the bridge. Watching the main entrances. They won't be watching the service areas as carefully. How do you get to the island without using the bridge? Taeyong asked. I swim. In February? The water's freezing. I've survived worse. Amara checked her watch. 11 p.m. I need gear. Weapons. Wetsuit if you have one. And I need to move now. They gave you an hour. That means I have 40 minutes before they start getting nervous. Taeyong made calls. 10 minutes later, Jiwoo returned with a duffel bag. Tactical gear. A wetsuit. Weapons. Amara changed quickly, not caring that they were watching. Modesty didn't save lives. Preparation did. She loaded magazines. Checked sights. Strapped knives to her thigh and ankle. Put her rosary beads in a waterproof pouch. One more thing, she said to Taeyong. Call them back. Tell them you're coming. Tell them you need 2 hours to gather what they want. Money. Codes. Whatever. Just buy me time. What if they don't believe me? Make them believe you. You're a father trying to save his daughter. That's not hard to fake because it's true. Taeyong nodded, dialed. Put it on speaker. I'll come, he said when they answered. But I need time. 2 hours. I'll bring everything. Money. Access codes. Whatever you want. Just don't hurt her. Silence. Then 2 hours. Not a minute more. And come alone. We'll know if you don't. The line went dead. Done, Amara said. She shouldered the duffel bag. Get to your panic room. Lock it down. Don't open it for anyone except me or your daughter. Understood. How will I know it's really you? Amara thought for a moment. I'll say, Chinik Bagara M. God forgive me an Igbo. Nobody here knows that except you now. Chinik Bagara M. Taeyong repeated, the words foreign on his tongue. Bring her back. Please. That's the job. Amara took the service elevator down to the sub-basement. Found the parking garage exit that led to the street. The black van was still there, bullet holes in the wall. But the men were gone. Probably regrouped at the Pearl Pavilion. She slipped out into the Busan night. The city hummed around her. Normal people living normal lives. They had no idea a war was happening in the shadows. Amara made her way to Dongvik Island. Stayed off main streets. Used alleys and shadows. It took her 20 minutes to reach the coastline across from the Pearl Pavilion. She could see it lit up across the water. Maybe 300 meters of cold ocean between her and hell. She stripped to the wetsuit, sealed her gear in waterproof bags. Checked her weapons one last time. Then she waded into the February water. It was like knives against her skin. The cold shocked her system. But Amara pushed through. She'd trained for this. Water insertion in hostile conditions. Just another Tuesday in her old CIA life. She swam with strong, steady strokes. Kept low in the water. The Pearl Pavilion grew closer. She could see guards on the bridge. At least 4. More on the grounds. They were watching outward, expecting an assault from the bridge. They weren't watching the water. Amara reached the pilings beneath the resort. Pulled herself up into the service tunnel entrance. It was dark. Quiet. She stripped off the wetsuit, dried quickly, geared up. Checked her weapons. Loaded. Ready. She moved through the tunnel like a ghost. Years of training made her footsteps silent. She reached the kitchen entrance, listened. Voices above. Korean. She counted at least 3 distinct speakers. Amara pulled out her phone, texted Marcus. I'm in. Going dark. If I don't contact you in 2 hours, burn everything. His response was immediate. Don't make me burn anything. Come home. She put the phone on silent, tucked it away. Then she pulled out her primary weapon and moved up the stairs. The kitchen was empty. Commercial grade. Stainless steel everywhere. She could hear voices from the main hall. Laughter. They thought they'd won. Thought they had Taeyong trapped. They were about to learn they were wrong. Amara moved through the kitchen to a service hallway. Found a ventilation grate. Peered through. The main hall was lit by lanterns. Traditional Korean aesthetic. And in the center, tied to chairs, were Park Min-soo and Soo-ya. Min-soo's face was bloody. He'd fought. But outnumbered, he'd lost. Soo-ya was terrified, tears streaming down her face. She was just a kid. 17 years old. Caught in a war she didn't understand. Amara counted the guards. 12 in the main hall. More outside. Maybe 20 total like Jiwoo had estimated. And standing over Soo-ya, looking very pleased with himself, was a man in an expensive suit. She didn't recognize him. But the way the others deferred to him, he was in charge. He checked his watch. 1 hour left. Do you think he'll actually come? He'll come, one of the guards said. He's weak. He loves his daughter more than his empire. Good. Then we take them both. The Crimson Tiger Syndicate falls tonight. And tomorrow, Busan belongs to the Golden Lotus. They laughed. Soo-ya sobbed. Amara memorized positions. Calculated angles. 12 men. 18 rounds in her magazine. She'd need to be perfect. She said a quiet prayer. Chinique, guide my hands. And forgive what I'm about to do. Then she moved. Do you think Amara can save them both? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you're on the edge of your seat right now, hit that subscribe button because the next part is going to be absolutely insane. The first guard died without making a sound. Amara dropped from the ceiling vent behind him, her knife finding the gap between his third and fourth vertebrae. He collapsed. She caught him, lowered him silently to the floor. Took his radio. His sidearm. 1 down. 19 to go. She moved through the shadows of the Pearl Pavilion like water through cracks. The resort's traditional architecture worked in her favor. Paper screens. Sliding doors. Multiple levels. Dozens of hiding spots for someone who knew how to use them. The second guard was patrolling the eastern corridor. She waited until he passed, then struck from behind. 3 seconds. No sound. She dragged his body into a storage room, took his ammunition. 2 down. The third and fourth were together, smoking outside a side entrance. Amara watched them through a window. Calculated. Threw a stone to the left. They turned. She moved right, came up behind them fast. 2 strikes. 2 bodies falling. She was inside before they hit the ground. 4 down. 16 to go. In the CIA, they'd called her Ghost. Because that's what she was. Silent. Invisible. Gone before you knew she was there. She'd spent 3 years in Special Activities Division. Black Ops. The missions that didn't officially exist. She learned from the best. And now these men were learning why she'd never lost a client. She made her way to the main hall. Got above it, in the traditional Korean ceiling structure. Looked down through gaps in the wood. The man in the suit was getting impatient. Call Kwan, he ordered. Tell him 30 minutes. I'm tired of waiting. One of the guards dialed. Taeyong's voice came through the speaker. I'm coming. I'm in the car now. Please don't hurt her. 30 minutes, Mr. Kwan. Not 31. And come alone. The guard hung up, looked at his boss. He's scared. This is going to be easy. Nothing is easy until it's done, the boss said. Double the guards on the bridge. I want eyes on every approach. And someone check on the perimeter patrol. They should have reported in by now. A guard left. Came back 2 minutes later concerned. Sir, Chin and Yuki aren't responding. Find them. 3 guards headed out. Amara tracked their movement. They'd find the bodies soon. Then all hell would break loose. She needed to move faster. She dropped from the ceiling into a side room. Surprised 2 guards playing cards. They reached for weapons. Amara was faster. Close quarters. Hand to hand. 15 seconds later, both were unconscious. She used their own zip ties to secure them. 6 down. 14 to go. The guards searching for their missing men were spreading out. Getting nervous. Good. Nervous men made mistakes. Amara picked them off one by one. A strike from the shadows here. An ambush from around a corner there. Each one quick. Efficient. Silent. 10 down. 10 to go. But then her luck ran out. A guard stumbled on one of the bodies. Saw the blood. Shouted. We're under attack. The entire resort erupted. Guards running. Weapons drawn. The element of surprise was gone. The boss in the main hall grabbed Suya, pulled her up, put a gun to her head. Whoever you are, show yourself. Or I put a bullet in her brain right now. Amara cursed silently. She'd been trying to avoid this. Trying to take them all down before they could react. But she was out of time. She stepped out of the shadows into the main hall. 10 guards immediately aimed weapons at her. The boss looked at her surprised. You? A woman? Kwon sent a woman. He didn't send anyone, Amara said calmly. I came on my own. Who are you? Someone who's going to give you one chance to walk away. Let the girl go. Leave. Live to see tomorrow. The boss laughed. So did his men. You're surrounded. Outnumbered. And you're offering me a chance? That's rich. It's your only chance. Take it or don't. Your choice. Kill her, the boss ordered. The guards opened fire. Amara was already moving. She'd calculated the angles before stepping out. Knew exactly where each guard was standing. Knew their positions would create crossfire if they shot at her current position. She dove left, rolled, came up behind a wooden pillar. Bullets tore through the space she'd been. But some of those bullets hit the guards across from them. Friendly fire. Chaos. Amara didn't waste the opportunity. She fired. 2 rounds. 2 guards down. Moved. Fired again. 3 more down. The boss pulled Suya toward the exit, using her as a shield. Fall back. Fall back. The remaining guards tried to retreat. Amara couldn't let them regroup. She pursued. The Pearl Pavilion became a battlefield. Gunfire echoed. Wood splintered. Paper screens shredded. She fought with cold efficiency. Every movement practiced. Every shot counted. These men were good. Professionals. But they weren't good enough. One rushed her with a knife. She disarmed him, used his momentum against him, sent him through a paper screen. Another tried to flank her. She caught him in a crossfire position, made him think twice, drove him into a corner where she could neutralize him. 15 down. 5 to go. But those 5 were with the boss. And he still had Suya. Amara pursued them to the main ceremonial hall. The most beautiful room in the resort. Traditional Korean architecture at its finest. Painted screens. Polished wood floors. Lanterns casting warm light. The boss stood in the center, gun pressed against Suya's temple. For guards around him, weapons aimed at Amara. That's far enough, he said. Drop your weapon or she dies. Amara assessed. For guards spread out. No clean shot at the boss without hitting Suya. He'd positioned himself perfectly. You know I can't do that, Amara said. Then she dies. And then you die. All of you. Is that really how you want this to end? I'd rather die than fail. The Golden Lotus demands Kwon's head. If I can't deliver him, I'll deliver his daughters. Suya sobbed. Please. Please, I don't want to die. Amara met the girl's eyes. Saw the terror. The innocence. She thought of her own mother. Dead too young. She thought of her father's words. Fire can burn or light the way. Remember which one you are. I'm going to tell you something, Amara said to the boss. And I want you to really hear me. I was CIA Special Activities Division. Do you know what that means? It means you're trained to kill. No. It means I'm trained to win. No matter the odds. No matter the circumstances. In 5 years of private security, I haven't lost a single client. Not one. Do you know why? Luck. Because I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Amara's voice dropped. Became cold as death itself. You hurt that girl, you don't leave this room. None of you do. I will kill you all. And it won't be quick. It won't be merciful. I will make you beg for death long before I grant it. So ask yourself, is your loyalty to the Golden Lotus worth that? The boss's hand trembled slightly. The guards shifted nervously. They'd seen what she'd done to their friends. 15 men down. Taken up by one woman. You're bluffing, the boss said. Am I? Amara raised her weapon. Aimed at his head. Test me. The standoff stretched. Seconds felt like hours. Then, movement from behind the guards. Min-soo, still tied to his chair, had been slowly working his bonds loose. With a roar, he threw himself sideways, slamming into one of the guards. It was the opening Amara needed. She moved. Faster than thought. Shot the first guard in the knee. He went down. The second turned toward her. She shot him in the shoulder. The third tried to fire. She was already on him, disarming him, using him as a shield against the fourth. The fourth guard hesitated. Didn't want to shoot his own man. That hesitation cost him. Amara threw the third guard into him. Both went down. She was on them in a heartbeat. 2 quick strikes. Both unconscious. The boss still had Suya. Still had the gun to her head. but his eyes were wide now. Panicked. It's over, Amara said. Let her go. No. No, this can't be happening. One woman. Just one woman. I warned you. You should have taken the deal. The boss's hand shook. His finger on the trigger. Suya whimpered. And then a voice came from the entrance. Step away from my daughter. Taeyong stood there, flanked by a dozen armed men. His security team. They'd come after all. The boss looked at him, then at Amara, then at his unconscious guards. He was beaten. He knew it. The Golden Lotus will never stop, he said. You can't fight all of us. Maybe not, Taeyong said. But she can. And right now, that's all that matters. The boss lowered his weapon. Surrendered. His men were secured. Suya ran to her father, sobbing. Taeyong held her, his own tears flowing freely. Amara watched them. Felt the weight of the last few hours settling on her. Her shoulder throbbed. Her ribs ached. She was exhausted. But alive. And so was Suya. Mission accomplished. What do you think happens next? Is the Golden Lotus really finished? Drop your theories below. The authorities arrived 20 minutes later. But not regular police. These were special investigators. The kind who handled organized crime. The kind who'd been building cases against the Golden Lotus for years. Turned out, Taeyong had made a deal. Immunity in exchange for testimony. Everything he knew about the collective. Every name. Every operation. Every dirty secret. He was burning it all down. You're going legitimate, Amara said as they watched the investigators process the scene. I'm trying to, Taeyong replied. He hadn't let go of Suya since the rescue. Kept her close. Safe. For her. She deserves a father she can be proud of. It won't be easy. People you know will go to prison. People I know tried to kill my daughter. Let them rot. Amara nodded. Understood. Sometimes redemption meant burning everything down and starting over. Jiwoo approached, phone in hand. The driver, Kong. He's been arrested. He's talking. Giving up his contacts. Apparently, they approached him 6 months ago. Threatened his sister if he didn't cooperate. And the others? Amara asked. Hyunwoo? Lee? Small players. Kong was the main leak. The Golden Lotus exploited him, and he gave them everything. What about the man in charge here? Amara gestured to the boss, now in handcuffs. Song Minho. Mid-level operator for the Seoul Kim family. He thought taking out Taeyong would earn him a promotion. Jiwoo smiled coldly. Instead, he earned a life sentence. The investigators wanted statements. Amara gave them what they needed. Nothing more. She didn't mention the bodies. Didn't mention her methods. Just said she'd secured the hostages and held position until reinforcements arrived. They didn't ask too many questions. Sometimes, people didn't want to know how the sausage was made. They just wanted to eat. As dawn broke over Busan, Amara found herself back at the Crimson Tower. Her gear was packed. Her flight was booked for that afternoon. Job done. Time to go home. Taeyong met her in his office. Suya was asleep on his couch, finally at peace. He'd stayed up all night, watching her breathe, making sure she was real. Safe. Your payment has been transferred, he said. All 10 million. Plus a bonus. For going above and beyond. I did my job. That's all. You saved my daughter's life. That's everything. He paused. Stay. Work for me permanently. Name your price. 20 million a year. 30. Whatever you want. Amara smiled. I appreciate the offer. But no. Why not? You're the best I've ever seen. With you at my side, I could finish this transformation. Go completely legitimate. Be the man my daughter believes I am. That's exactly why I can't stay. You need to do this yourself. Prove to yourself and to her that you can change. If I'm here, you'll always have an excuse. A crutch. You need to stand on your own. Taeyong was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. You're wise beyond your years. I'm 36. I've earned every year. He pulled something from his desk drawer. A small wooden box. My father gave this to me before he died. He said it belonged to my grandfather. It's a traditional Korean good luck charm. It's kept me alive through 29 years of this life. I want you to have it. I can't accept that. Please. You gave me my daughter back. You gave me a chance at redemption. That's worth more than all the money in my accounts. Take it. And when you look at it, remember that you changed a life tonight. Maybe even saved a soul. Amara took the box. Opened it. Inside was a small jade pendant carved in the shape of a tiger. Beautiful. Ancient. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Okonkwo. For everything. She left the tower as the sun rose fully over Busan. The city was waking up. People heading to work. Students going to school. Life continuing like nothing had happened. But something had happened. 18 assassins had tried to kill a crime boss and his daughter. One woman had stopped them all. At the airport, Amara called Marcus. "You made it," he said, relief clear in his voice. "Told you I would." "How bad was it?" "Bad enough. But everyone who mattered survived. The money's in the account. That's 3 more schools. Maybe 4. You know what? I don't even care about the schools right now. I'm just glad you're coming home." "Me too, Marcus." "Me too." The flight back to New York gave Amara time to think. To process. She'd killed tonight. Maybe not directly, but close enough. Men who probably had families. Who thought they were just doing a job. She pulled out her rosary beads. The ones that had snapped during the fight. Held them in her hands. "Chanique, I don't know if what I did was right. But I know it was necessary. Forgive me. And help me carry this weight." She thought of her father. Of the church in Brooklyn. Of the promise she'd made to always come home. 3 weeks later, Amara stood in a field in Enugu, Nigeria. Children played around her. Laughing. Running. Free. The new school was almost finished. Bright blue walls. Solar panels on the roof. Books already arriving. The headmistress, an older woman named Mrs. Adeyemi, stood beside her. "This is a miracle. You're giving these children a future." "I'm just the messenger," Amara said. "The money came from complicated places. But it's going to a good place now. That's what matters." Her phone buzzed. Encrypted message. Unknown number. She opened it. "Need protection in Manila. High-risk client. 2 weeks. 15 million. Are you available?" Amara looked at the children. At the school. At the future being built with blood money transformed into hope. She typed back, "Send details." Because this was who she was. The woman who walked between worlds. Who took money from devils and gave it to angels. Who fought monsters so children could play. They called her the saint. And maybe she was. Or maybe she was just someone trying to balance the scales. One life saved at a time. One school built at a time. She watched the sun set over Enugu. Thought of Busan. Of Taeyong and Suya. Hoped they were okay. Hoped he kept his promise. 3 months later, she got her answer. A news article Marcus sent her. Former crime boss opens youth center in Busan. Kwon Taeyong dedicates facility to second chances. The photo showed Taeyong and Suya cutting a ribbon. Both smiling. Both free. Amara smiled too. Maybe redemption was possible. Even for people like them. Her phone buzzed again. New job. New city. New battle. She picked up her go bag. Checked her weapons. Said a prayer. Then Amara Okonkwo walked out into the world, ready to save whoever needed saving next. Because that's what saints do. They never stop fighting for the innocent. They never stop believing people can change. And they never, ever fail. So, what did you think of Amara's story? Could you survive a night like that? Have you ever had to make an impossible choice? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story kept you glued to your screen, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And remember, sometimes the most unlikely heroes are the ones who change the world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.